Everybody, as you come on in, please join us. Let me know your name and where you're tuning in from. We're just going to wait a couple of more minutes to allow some more people to come in and join us on tonight. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you so much for being patient with us. We're trying to get everything situated for you guys on tonight. I really appreciate you being here. Share this broadcast out, to your followers. Please share so we can build the sisterhood and build a community here on Instagram. Let's see. I'm just gonna wait just a couple more minutes for people to come in. It says that they is gathering people to join us.
Is
How
that
was your day
lighting
today?
better? I don't know why it keeps going. Trying to get this lighting right. No?
Yeah, I can see you.
You can see me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Very busy Monday.
Yeah. Typically, that's how Monday goes. That's usually how Monday goes. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll just do a short little recap as people join us as they come on in. Hey, Latrinda. Hey, girl. Hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So if you guys are meeting me for the very first time, welcome. Thank you for joining me on tonight. My name is LaKitia. I am your sister coach and also the founder of A Sister's Truth. And here at Sister's Truth, we help women to discover, define, and live their truth for manifesting a courageous life without limits. And as your sister coach, it is my job to provide you with the tools that you need to help you stay true to yourself for a purpose-driven life. Hey, Leah. Hey, girl. Hey. And one of the tools that I've been providing you lately, starting last month, is by doing a Living Her Truth interview series right here live on Instagram to allow other women to come on here and share their stories. Now, the interview series started off with me interviewing women that I have personally met, either online or offline, and I got the chance to know them and to learn their story, and just really wanted to just bring them on and interview them so they can share their stories with you. Ashley, you can't hear me?
It's
Can you say
going
something?
in and out. It's very staticky.
Okay, it's probably just the can you hear me? It's probably the service, the internet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It's going in and out. It's like,
Okay. Okay.
hello.
Well, I'm just doing a quick little introduction. It's probably a delay as well. It may be like a 3 to 5 second delay. Can anyone else on the line hear me? Can anyone hear me?
I might have to go back out and come back in.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Go out and come back in. So Ashley, we have some technical difficulties, so please bear with us. Ashley is going to come back in. So once she comes back in and join, I'll invite her back to the conversation. So as I was saying, it started off in August. The Living Her Truth series started off in August with me just bringing on women that I personally met either online or offline. Got a chance to have a conversation with them and learn their stories and to bring them forth so they can share their stories with you. Because as you know, I'm all about sharing my testimony of surviving 8 years of sexual abuse. But I do know and recognize that my story may not be your story, but that doesn't mean that, your story doesn't matter. And there's someone out there who has experienced what you experienced or going through it that we can pull inspiration and motivation from. So I just wanted to bring other women on here so they can share their story. Now, initially, I was only going to do it in August, but Ashley reached out to me and asked if she can come on and share her story with you guys. So that's what motivated me to do the series and continue it in the month of September. So I'm super excited for her to talk to you guys on tonight. I'm just waiting for her to come back in because we are having some technical difficulties. She had to leave out and hopefully come back in and join and rejoin us so we can get started with the interview. So if you guys can hear me, please just, drop an ear in the comment section to let me know that you can actually hear me. As you're coming in, if you can hear me, let me know your name and where you are tuning in from. Please let me know. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Right, Leah. All about the technical difficulties. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, great. Ashley's back. So Ashley, I'm going to invite you back. So Ashley is coming back. Is that better? Ashley, can you hear me?
It's okay. Well, just connected now. Okay.
Okay, so you can hear me.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome.
I'm not
glad.
sure why it keeps freezing up. It keeps freezing up for some reason.
That's just how Instagram is. That's how it goes with the live. So if I freeze up, just wait a second and let me unfreeze. And then it's also maybe just a little bit of a delay. So as you guys are coming in, thank you so much for joining me. Please leave your name and where you're tuning in from in the comment section below. Leah can hear the both of us, so that's awesome. So as I was saying, Ashley reached out to me and asked if I would interview her so she can share her story with you guys. So I'm super excited for her to come on here and just talk to you guys on tonight. So Ashley, please, let's go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your brand.
Awesome. Well, my name is Ashley Little. I work in corporate by day and by night. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a best-selling author of Dear Fear 2, 18 Powerful Lessons of Living Your Best Life Outside of Fear. I am a speaker. I'm a Forex business owner. I'm a Woman Speak Circle leader. I'm also a co-founder of Sweetheart Scholars nonprofit 501c3. And I'm a co-host of the Tammy Collins Marquee Radio Show. So I'm happy and excited to be here today.
Thank you for asking me to interview you, Ashley. I was really excited about that. I was telling everybody while you was getting situated that you encouraged me to continue the series in September when you reached out and asked me to interview you, because it was only supposed to last in the month of August.
Yes.
So when you asked me, I was just like, okay, cool. So why not do it for the last 3 weeks of September, because I traveled last week, so why not do it for the whole, for the rest of the month of September. So thank you so much for reaching out. So here at A Sister's Truth, we're all about living a purpose-driven life, and the way that we do that is through self-awareness. And there are 3 phases that we all must go through in order to become fully self-aware, and that's to discover, define, and live your truth. And on tonight, during this interview series, we are focusing on living your truth. And living your truth means to become aware of all aspects of who you are and present that person to the world. Now that may sound really easy in theory, but you have no idea how many people battle with just being their authentic selves on a day-to-day basis, which is another reason why I decided to do this interview series. So Ashley, please tell us about your journey and how you are living in your truth.
Well, my journey was when I shared my story of Dear Free, You Can't Have My Power. That's really what started me to really share my story with the world, because I am a private person, but I knew I had a story to tell the world. So that's how I came about writing my story of Dear Fear, You Can't Have My Power. And I talk about different things that I had to overcome. I'm not going to say everything, because I want you all to at least go support me and buy the book if you would like. But some of the things that I talk about in my story is me overcoming discrimination, being a Black woman in corporate America. I talk about different moments of deaths that I had in my family and how I overcame that, as well as relationships and friendships. So I touch on many different areas of my life and how I've overcame fear in those areas in order to keep pushing, in order to endure, to make sure that I reach, my goals. So that's pretty much my story. And I've been, sharing my story all over the world. And I'm thankful for the reviews I've received from men and women, because my story focused on, different. You can't have my power for the person that gets up every day and puts on their clothes and they're smiling, but they're hurting inside. So that's for that person that I wanted to talk to. And I told myself, if I could just change one life, I would be fine. But I'm so thankful that it was able to change many lives all over the world. So I'm very thankful for that.
I love that. I love that. And there are a lot of us who wake up every day and we put on this smile, we put on this facade and pretending that we're okay when in actuality we are not okay. I was listening to a friend's Facebook video, and she said she ran across a post on Instagram that said it's okay not to be okay. Right. And that really struck a chord with her because she has been dealing with some health issues that none of us knew about until she passed out and went to the hospital. Right. But when you see her in person, she's always going. Leah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Like, she's this extrovert, energetic person, but she's dealing with health issues that none of us knew about. And so a lot of us deal with all type of issues. Hey, Mercedes, we all deal with all types of, issues that we just keep to ourselves because we don't want nobody to know, or we think no one else understands. And that's why it's important to share our story. And me, as a survivor of sexual abuse, I'm all about sharing my story because there are so many women out there who have just, locked that away in the back of their mind, never really got the help that they needed for it, and don't realize that it's affecting them every single day. They have no idea because they think they're functioning, because they don't think about it. But that's not the case. If you haven't fully healed from it, it can affect you directly and indirectly. So that's why it's so important for us to share our story. So thank you for that, Ashley, for bringing that up. So in your opinion, explain to us a little bit why you feel as though living your truth is important.
Living your truth is important because you don't know who you're helping. Our stories are normally not for us, they're for someone else. So you don't know whose life that you're going to change, and you don't know whose life you're going to save by telling your story. And I'm so thankful with people that have read my story so far. My supporters who have wrote reviews have stated, they're either going through this right now or they've been through it, and how I've helped them overcome that. Because I think people look at your accomplishments, but they don't look at, the process. Because I'm a big believer that every win has a process attached to it. So that's why I tell, I always express to people, don't envy anyone because you don't know the process it took to get there. And I'm just so thankful that my story was able to help people and understand, I'm not perfect, and I put it in my story. I'm not perfect, and we all have our storms, and our storms are here to develop us into the people that we are today. So I'm very transparent in my story, very transparent.
Oh my God, you hit so many points. You're absolutely right. We shouldn't envy anybody else because 9 times out of 10, we don't see the process. We usually just see the end result. And that's why it's another reason why we should share the process because no one is perfect. Okay, we all have our ups and downs. There's going to be something that we, fail at. We all battle with fear, but it's important to share those moments as well. I'll never forget the time where I first started my business, right? Like I had just started my business. All I had was a name and a business card. And I was, because I'm here in Houston, Texas. And so I was on my way to a networking event that was downtown. And I'm literally stuck in traffic. Hey Candace, thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi.
So I'm heading downtown to a networking event, and I am literally, Ashley and everyone, I'm literally in traffic talking myself out of going to this networking event
Right.
because I was scared. Right? Because this was going to be the first time I hold myself out as the founder of A Sister's Truth. And so I'm talking myself out. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go. I'm not going to go. And then all of a sudden my phone rings. And it's a family friend who knows my history, knows my story, knows the family, really, really closely. So she knows how I battled with, battled and overcame sexual abuse. So she know how I, went off to school, went to college and all these other things. But she was calling me because she wanted me to know that I inspired her to go to school and get her degree. And now she had just landed a career, not a job, guys, a career where she can now make enough money to afford to really take care of her children. And she was on a career path where she can get promoted and, and move up the ladder. And she was calling me to thank me in tears, to thank me because she said she watched me on my journey. She watched me on my journey. You never know who's watching you. That's why it's so important for you to go through the ups and the downs and share your wins and your lessons learned with other people, because you never know who's watching you.
Right.
So I'm sitting here debating on whether or not I'm going to go to a networking event, right? Because I just started this business and I don't even have a mission statement. All I have is a name and a business card. But that was exactly what I needed to go to that networking event and say, you know what? This is confirmation. This is a God wink, what people like to call it. Right. So let me go, and because I am definitely onto something. So I just really wanted to just share that, with you guys, because you never know who's watching you, and this was a family friend. I'm not a mom yet, but I'm an aunt, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I'm a niece, so there's always someone watching me that can pull inspiration from me. And there's always someone watching you that can also bless you. So with that being said, Ashley, tell us, like, how do you pick yourself up when life happens? Because we all know life happens. Life would throw you a curveball that would just completely, knock your feet from up under you. So how do you bounce back and just bring yourself out of the funk when life happens?
Well, it's all about encouraging yourself, because I've been through a lot of different challenges, and I talk about that in my story and in my book too as well. A lot of different storms, and I'm one of those people, like I stated before, I don't share a lot of my life, but I was able to do that, and this was a healing process for me to write my story. It was a healing process. It was a release, because I'm one of those people who keep a lot of things in. But the way I handle it is encouraging myself, because I'm really big on encouraging myself. I really believe that you can't rely on people to determine your destiny. So you have to encourage yourself. And of course, I have a relationship with God. And some of the things that I talk about in my story really tested my faith. Like, for instance, when I was going through discrimination in the workplace as a Black woman in senior level positions, being the only Black woman, young woman, in corporate was a very challenging time for me. That season was very challenging for me. So through those times of going through that, I had to encourage myself, and I had to, ignore those distractions and the things that were coming at me, and understand, what my purpose was of why I was there and what my assignment was. To understand that anything that I'm on, and if I'm purpose for it, it's a process. That anything that you go through that's definitely God driven, is going to be a process. So I had to realize that. So most of the time when I'm going through things, I fight on my knees. I had to learn that. And I'm not going to say I've always done that, because I haven't. But I know that, normally if we don't pass the test, we have to take it again. And so definitely going through that time of my life, it was definitely a growth opportunity. And it definitely helped me and pushed me out to want to tell my story in order to, you know, be able to help other people that might be going through that. And some of the other things that I talk about in my story as well as entrepreneurship. It pushed me out to want to retire myself early from corporate world, to want to start my own business. So that's really how I motivate myself, is self-motivation and encouraging myself. I had to learn that, because I mean, you can't worry about what they say, because if you worry about what they say, you can't get to your destiny. And I talk about that in my story as well.
I love that. You know, I put a post up on Instagram. I believe it was, I put it up today. And I was talking about that time where I just felt really, really nervous, to the point when I was about to have an anxiety attack, right? Because sometimes we get that way.
Yeah, it
And
does.
I had to think back to a devotional that I had. And in that devotional, it said that you are already a victor.
Right.
Like it's already done. You've already won, because whatever plan God has in store for you is done.
Yes.
There's nothing anybody can do. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop you from walking into your blessing. It's done. You already have the victory, right? We, like Ashley said, we just need to go through the process, you know, and that takes encouraging yourself every single day. You know, it's a daily commitment to walk in your greatness. It's a daily commitment. That's why I wrote my book, 31 Days of Truth, Manifest Your Passion, Power, and Perseverance, because I want to provide you with something where that will encourage you on a daily basis. Because unfortunately, we don't get a break from the enemy.
No, we
Unfortunately, we don't. You know, and I can also, relate to, you know, being discriminated in corporate America, you know, for being a Black woman, because we have this stigma of being angry. Like you ain't never seen me go off on anybody in the workplace. But you're just gonna automatically assume, you know, when there's a potential to have conflict, you're just gonna automatically assume that I'm gonna get angry. Like I've never held myself out to be that way, but the color of my skin, you know. But that's why we just have to. Go ahead. You was about to say something?
It wasn't, when I was going through that season, it wasn't because of my results. It was because of the color of my skin, you know? So I think that we have to realize that most of the time we're going through those storms for someone else. And I'm not going to lie and say that every day was easy. No, it wasn't, because I went through depression during those times. I went through many different feelings, rejection, discouragement. But if I didn't have God and I didn't have that relationship with him, I would have gave up. But that's the difference. You know, we all going to have our moments where we might fail, but we got to get back up and try it again and learn the lesson from that. So I think that's where most people don't want to fail, or we want to be perfect, but we're not. So we're going to go through different things to test our faith. And that's what I saw that as a growth opportunity for.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who are joining us, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Let me know who you are. Tell me your name and where you are tuning in from. I am here interviewing Ashley Little, doing my Living Her Truth interview series I'm doing for the month of September, bringing her on so she can share her story with you guys to provide you with motivation and encouragement that you need to live your purpose-driven life. And so, Ashley, give us one piece of advice, either positive, negative, that someone has given you that changed your life, either for the worse or for the better.
One positive thing you said today, someone has
positive or negative piece of advice that someone has given you that, you know, changed the course of your life.
Well, some positive advice was to always take risks and be uncomfortable. I think a lot of people are afraid to be uncomfortable. And I'm not going to always say I enjoyed being uncomfortable, because I did not. But it definitely helped me, because it pushed me to get through different trials in life that I've been through. Like with my father battling cancer, you know, me not being able to get to my father during that time, didn't even know he had cancer. And during that time when he was battling cancer, I was going through discrimination at the same time. So I had a lot of different challenges through at me at the same time, a lot of obstacles. But you would never know because, hey, I'm a private person. I never really would share my, story. But I'm so glad that I'm able to do that now. I remember when I launched my book in June, and I remember before it launched, I was reading my story and I was emotional, because I had never really released my story to the world, and doing my book signing, I was very emotional when I first told my story. I really couldn't even talk about the part of my story with my father and my grandfather, because I lost my grandfather to cancer, and I was like, with my father, he did overcome cancer, but I was determined to handle this differently and handle this storm differently than I did the last time. So it's definitely been a good thing for me, a good release. So I would just say the thing that I've learned as far as, positive is just to take risks, do it uncomfortable, do it anyway. Me writing my book was just being very uncomfortable, but I'm glad that I was able to be vulnerable. I'm glad that I was able to be transparent, and I'm glad that my story was able to help people and was able to, people were able to relate to it as well.
Yeah, I love that. And for those of you that's on the line who are also introverts and don't really like to share, if there's something that you're going through, please find someone to talk to, because the last thing I want you to do is suffer in silence, because that's how depression creeps up on you. And I hate to be morbid, but depression can lead to suicide. Let's just be really honest right now, be transparent. So if you don't have a support system, I'm your sister coach. Send me a DM. Click the link in my bio so we can connect, right? Because some of us are just a conversation away from doing something very harmful to ourselves. You don't have to make an announcement to the world. You don't have to write a book like Ashley and I have done, but I want you to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. So I definitely want to express that. Mercedes says, I'm so happy times are changing for you young women. Try being the only Black female in corporate America in 1970. People were afraid of my afro. Some people, I'm not going to say they're afraid, but I'm a natural sister, and these edges are not giving me life right now. But people don't understand it either. What'd you say, Ashley?
I said I'm natural too. It's just blew out, but I'm natural.
So, they're not afraid of it, but they confused by it. So as much as you change, it almost stay the same. So Ashley, tell us, how difficult was it for you to break into the industry as far as becoming a writer?
Well, like I stated before, when I was on my journey to writing my story, the visionary author, because I'm a contributing author, was Tiana Patrice, and I've been following her for a while, because the Million Fearless Strong movement is a very strong movement. So I've been following her about 3-4 years, and then I saw her post.
Write that down. What's her name?
Tiana Patrice. So I saw her post this past October, and she was looking for more authors for Dear Fear Volume 2. So I was like, it's time. Let me go ahead and tell my story. First, I pushed my friend. She wrote the book with me too, as well as my line sister and friend. She wrote the book, and I pushed her to do it. And then later on, she came back and said, Ashley, you should tell your story. First, I was like, let me pray about it. But I always knew, because I was an English major, so I like to write. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell my story. I do have a story to tell, and that's kind of how I got into it and started writing my story. I'm not going to say that it was easy telling it, because I was being very transparent. I was being very vulnerable, and I shared a lot. My story was shared with a lot to people that didn't know anything about what was going on in my life. Because like I stated, I have very private with my life. So when I shared my story, it was the first time for everybody that read it, basically, because nobody knew. So wow. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that I was vulnerable. I'm thankful that I was transparent about different parts of my life. And now, I'm just telling my story, and as it continue to grow, because I feel like you write your story every day. So
how did people react when they read your story for the first time and had no idea that you was going through some of the things that you wrote about? Like, how did they react to that?
Some of my reviews were like, some people were going through some of the same things that I was going through with discrimination and losing, you know, loved ones. And I actually have a friend that's going through something now with her father battling cancer. So I mean, a lot of people related to a lot of the different things that I wrote about in my story. So I was happy about that. And there's a lot of people just didn't know that, you know, I encountered some of the things that I went through. So that's why I said you never know what people are going through. You know, you just never know. They can put their clothes on every day and smile just like me and you you just never know. So that's why I said when I said, dear friend, you can't have my power. I'm talking to those people who, the strong people basically, that's why it's very important to check on your strong friend, because you just never know. You never know. You know what people are battling.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Absolutely. I did. Okay, so on my YouTube channel, for those of you who do not know, follow me on YouTube at Sister's Truth. I do sister conversations every Monday. And during one of the sister conversations, I talked about that. I was like, you know, check on your strong friend. Because if you're the one that's always going to a strong friend needing advice and encouragement and some uplifting words and somebody to pray for you, what about them? Because you're you dumping all your stuff on them, but you're not taking it back. So, you know, check on your strong friends, because they need some encouragement too. And so that video went out and everybody started like texting me and sending me emails. How you doing, LaKitia? Are you okay? I was like, I'm good, but I'm glad y'all listening and watching my videos. So yes, I agree with Ashley. Check on your strong friends, because let me tell you something. If you're the person that is strong, that person that you always go to, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to tell you when they're going through something, because the last thing they want to do is discourage you from coming to them, because all they're thinking about is helping you and the next person. So they're going to put their feelings on the back burner, which is what they shouldn't do, right? Because they don't want to seem like the person, they don't want to seem weak, especially when you need someone to be strong. So check up on them. Ask them how they doing. You know, the next time you talk to that person, let it be all about them instead of being all about you. I'm just saying.
Right.
And yeah, and actually, just FYI, one of your line sisters is on the I mean, not your line sisters, one of your sorors is on here too.
Who is
Candace
that?
Candace is a Delta. Queen Life.
Hi, Candace.
She's a Delta as well. So see, Mercedes says, oh my God, that is so me. Actually, English is so great. It was my minor and gave me the gift to gab.
I think
Mercedes,
my big sister is on here too, Aisha. I think she's on here. Aisha Klingsdale. Is she on here?
Hey, Aisha. Hey, girl. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. But Mercedes, since you got the gift to gab, I'm going to need you to go ahead and write that book like Ashley did. I'm just saying. So, Ashley, tell us, how do you create authentically?
Basically just being myself, you know, being transparent, being vulnerable, being able to create my own opportunities. I'm a big believer in creating your own opportunities. My thing is, if the door doesn't open for you, build the door, walk through the door yourself. So I'm big on just, you know, building those relationships, you know, creating those opportunities for myself and just being authentic as I can be.
Hey, Takia. Girl, you're not late. You right on time. Thank you so much for joining me, Ashley, tonight. Ashley's just sharing her story with us. She's telling us about how she battled with discrimination in the corporate world, you know, battling with sickness with her father, just all type of goodness. So you definitely gonna have to catch the replay. But thank you so much for joining us on tonight. So Ashley, how do you find balance or harmony, if you will, because I don't like to use the word balance. How do you find harmony between life, corporate America, and your business?
Basically having that balance, you know, knowing that I can't do everything in one day. I had to learn that, because you will burn yourself out. You will burn yourself out. I tried that. So I definitely like to travel. I like to have my quiet time. I like to have my time when I'm fasting and working out or traveling and reading, things like that, to keep my mind off it and try to give that self-care, because I believe that self-care is definitely important. Because I've had moments in my life where I did not always do that, and I've learned from that. So just being able to balance it and making sure I have good time management, that's the biggest thing. So I know I set a goal for different things. Like, you know, today I'm working on my book. Tomorrow I'm working on my Woman Speak stuff. So different things that I do, I try to have a certain day for each thing.
I love that. Just for all you guys who don't know, mental care is a part of self-care. I'm gonna need you to work on
Yes.
your mindset
Yes.
because that's just as important as getting your weekly massage, getting your nails and your toes done,
Yes.
or working out at the gym. You need to work on your mindset as well because when the enemy attacks, what's the first thing he's going to attack?
Your
Your
mind.
mindset.
Yes.
Your mindset. So I need you guys to work on that every day. Big Mac, thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is LaKitia. I'm the founder of A Sister's Truth. I am interviewing Ashley Little. This is my Living Her Truth series where I bring phenomenal women on to share their stories to help to encourage and motivate everyone. You know, I'm all about sharing my testimony here with my business, A Sister's Truth. I am a survivor of sexual abuse, but I do recognize and understand that not everybody has that same story. So I want to invite people to come on and share their stories so that way you can pull the motivation that you need to live your purpose-driven life. And so Ashley has been talking about all types of goodness on tonight, so you're definitely going to have to catch the replay, and also join me next Tuesday for the next interview. So Ashley, tell us some myths that you want to dispel as it relates to being a writer, working in corporate America, your nonprofit. What are some common myths that you would like to dispel for us?
Some common myths would be we all are, I feel like we all are afraid to fail, and we shouldn't be. Failure is definitely elevation for the next level. So I think that we have to understand that, what do you say? Do you understand life? Was it a question? No hard feelings. Do you understand life? What was the question?
I don't know. No hard feelings, but do you understand life? That's why we all here. We're learning from each other, Big Mac. That's why we're here and we're sharing our experiences because life is a roller coaster. Life
Yes.
happens, right? We all go
Yes.
through our ups and our downs. We all find ourselves in a place of despair. But in order to know that we can overcome it, we need to know that somebody else has been through it, can relate, and have overcome it. So that's why we're here and we're sharing our stories so we can all understand what life really is about because I mean, we probably would never completely understand in this lifetime. So that's why we're here. We're learning from each other. We're pulling motivation, inspiration from each other. So go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. So back to what I was saying. So basically, based off the things that I wrote about in my story, Dear Fear, I would say that learning to take those risks, knowing as a Black woman in corporate America that you're going to always have to work 10 times harder. You know, ignoring the distractions and the chatter that might come with that, with anything in life, you know, with the different, like I said, that I had a fear of death when losing my grandfather helped me overcome that fear of death. You know, that was the first time I lost somebody very close to me. So I went through definitely a very bad season of depression during that time, very bad season of that. It was very traumatic. It was very traumatic in my life during that time. Like I stated, I was in Kentucky and it was just horrible. I couldn't get home and I was away from family. So it was very, 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 very hard for me. And as well as just other things I talk about going through, I've been a victim of verbal abuse as well. So, you know, going through that and learning that, you know, toxic relationships, that's just not the way to go. And knowing how to overcome that and that, you know, learning the difference between a healthy relationship versus a unhealthy relationship. So yeah.
Awesome. So Big Mike, I heard you asked, can you join the next time because this topic is interested? You know, shoot me a direct message and we'll connect offline, and then maybe I can get you on the schedule for a future live. Because the series is Living Her Truth, where I interview women. But hey, I actually got a guy in mind that I'm going to interview in the future. So yes, let's have a conversation about it. Send me a DM, A Sister's Truth, and you know, let's talk about it offline. I have had difficult struggles. Oh, that question is directed to Big Mac. So what's next for your brand, Ashley? What's next? What's coming down the pipeline?
Well, continuing to definitely do more podcast interviews and different speaking events, as well as my book and my nonprofit. Continue to grow my nonprofit as well. because I'm big about reaching back and pulling forward for our younger generation. So continuing to build that. We want to expand my
Tell us a little bit
nonprofit.
more about that.
Okay.
Tell us a little
Well, let
bit
me
more
tell
about
you
your
about
nonprofit.
Well, I'm a co-founder. It's 3 other founders with Sweetheart Scholars Nonprofit. We founded Sweetheart Scholars in February 5th of this year. Our goal was to go back to where we came from, because I'm a big believer on not forgetting where you come from. We realized that our young African-American women were being overlooked for scholarships and, awards and different things. So we took it upon our initiative to go back and be the change that we want to see. So our goal was to go back and give out 2 scholarships, and we ended up giving out 4. And real big on, if it's your vision, you should invest in it first. So we invested with our own money and gave out our scholarships this year, and we were able to give out 4. So we were very excited about that. We're working on continuing to, talk to more investors this year, sponsorships, as well as expand out to different states too with Sweetheart Scholars. So we're looking to make it continue to be big and, in different states and continue to grow it. But that's definitely our focus, was to go back and give back to the community that gave to us and reach back and pull forward and be able to help those girls throughout their 4 years of college and mentor them as well. Of course, the process was definitely very intense. With that being said, they had to go through an interview process. They had to present their community service letters, why they would deserve the scholarship. We looked at GPA, and they had an interview. So it's definitely a process that they had to do. But we're very excited about what Sweetheart Scholars has in store.
Okay, very nice. I'm gonna have to connect you to one of my good friends. Her name is Nena Umelo, because she just wrote a book on how she earned $80,000 in scholarships.
Oh, nice.
And went to school for free. Yes. So, and she's just started her book tour, where she's going around obviously promoting her book, but also doing a scholarship workshop.
Oh, nice.
Where it's half is a scholarship workshop, and the other half is teaching you on how to get rid of your student loan debt, or just not go into student loan debt.
Yes.
So offline, I'm gonna have to send you her profile so you can connect with her, because you guys can definitely collab and do something. That would be amazing.
Awesome. I think
amazing.
I think Big Matt has another question.
He has another question. Let's see.
Let's see. I don't know.
Let's see. To me, life is just, he says, to me, life is just how you live it.
Buddy,
That's how I see it now. You're absolutely right. Life is how you live it. And that's your prerogative on how you want to life. And that's why we are here, because there's a lot of people battle with that every single day. And so it's my job as a sister coach to come on here and provide, my community with the tools that they need to be their authentic selves every single day, to live life according to their terms, according to the purpose and the calling that's on their life. Because that's can be real easy for you to do or for me to do, but there are some people who actually battle with that. So you're right. Life is all about how you live it. But let's be real. Some of us is just not living our lives, according to our own terms. We're living our lives, to please other people. Last month, I did an interview with Leah, who was also here joining us tonight. Hopefully she's still here. But she talked about in her interview on how she lived her life to please other people. And it wasn't until she recognized that and did a complete shift that her life changed for the better. So there's a lot of us who are living in this box that somebody has made for us, but it's time to break out of that box. So that's why we're here. Absolutely. That's exactly why we're here. Sometimes, Mercedes says, sometimes life will throw you a curveball and things can change in a second. I am definitely living proof. Ooh, don't we know that?
It will throw you some hard curveballs.
Yes. But we got to pick ourselves up every single day. That's why I wrote my book, 31 Days of Truth, Manifest Your Passion, Power, and Perseverance. That's why Ashley has written her book. What's your name of your book again, Ashley? And where can we find it?
Fear Volume 2, 18 Powerful Lessons of Living Your Best Life Outside of Fear. It's 18 different chapters in this book, 18 stories from very powerful women And I'm sure that
Mhm.
anybody that reads this book, you can relate to at least one story, or if not more, in this book. So please,
Mhm.
this is
Mhm.
definitely a good book for anybody who is dealing with fear or overcoming different risks, instead scared to just do it. This book is for you.
Where can we find your book? Can we find it on
Yes, you
Amazon?
can. You can find it on Amazon. And I also send my supporters signed copies from me, so they can follow me on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. And I'll send you a signed copy, or you can go on Amazon and order your book.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys get the tools
Yeah.
that you need. I also have some tools in the link that's in my bio.
Yes.
I have an audio that gives you 20 ways to turn your pain into purpose. Because a lot of us, we walking around here and we are in a whole lot of pain and we don't know how to reuse it, to turn it into something positive and good. And I give you literally 20 ways. If you have read my book, Mercedes can attest to it. My book is real straight to the point, no fluff. I do the same thing in my audio. I start with number one. The first way to turn your pain into purpose. Dot, 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 dot. And I go from 1 to
Right.
20, right? Because there is no reason to just walk around, filled with a whole bunch of pain. Let's repurpose that. Let's use that pain as
Right.
fuel to go after our dreams and our goals, to live our purpose, right? To manifest the purpose and call that's on our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can live our life on our own terms. Let's do that, right? Let's see, Big Mac. That question is for, let's see, what he say? Hold on, hold on, hold on.
YouTube.
Hold on, Big Mac. What did he say? That question is for you two. Why is
What?
you two beautiful ladies?
What is it?
Instagram is messing up. What is Instagram? Okay, beautiful ladies, is there a way to fix stress? Because to me, how I view life now is all about he is black or she is ugly to me. It's all about love for each other. Am I right? How I view life now is all about he is black or she is ugly. To me, it's all about love for each other. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely
Yes.
it is. It's all about love. The way that I deal with stress, when I feel myself being overwhelmed and stressed out, I take a moment to
Yeah. Me
myself.
too.
Like I take a pause. I go into my prayer closet.
Yeah.
I breathe. I let it out. I give myself that moment to let all the thoughts in my head just run around so they can completely get out. Sometimes you just need to just take a breather,
Yeah. Or I just go in
right? Sometimes
isolation
you
for a
need to
while.
distance yourself from certain
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You got some tips on how to deal with stress,
I do that
Ashley?
all the time. I find myself when I get too stressed, I take a moment away from everybody. Maybe it could be a week, or it might. Sometimes I like this last month I done a 30-day fast. I just needed to detox and get some things. Release some things and spend time with God and talk to Him about what I need to do so I can hear Him.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's so chaotic, you just got to take a
Mm-hmm.
moment away. You have to for you mentally too.
Mm-hmm.
Self care mentally for me, for my
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to take a
Mm-hmm.
moment away and just get yourself back together and then come back.
Absolutely. And sometimes we are stressed out because we
Yes.
are taking on other people's
Yes.
frustration. We're doing too much. We're trying to be everything for everybody. And we need to learn how to utilize our no, because there's power in our no. And in my book, I talk about how no is a complete sentence. And I tell you exactly how to properly use the word no, because there's a way for you to use your no without being an ass.
Right.
Okay. There's a way to use it without being an ass, but use it to your benefit as well. And you're right, it's all about love. But in order for you to love someone else, you gotta love yourself first.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the
Love
and
yourself
the
first.
the key to self-love is
Yes.
self-awareness.
Yes.
Absolutely. The key to self-love is self-awareness, and that's what I'm all about, is teaching my community how to be more self-aware. And there's 3 phases that we all have to go through for self-awareness, and that's to discover, define, and live your
Yes.
truth. And I help my clients through those 3 phases depending on where they are in life. So if you need some personal attention, Big Mac, shoot me a DM. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you. My target is women, but I will help a brother out too.
We're here for
And
everyone.
I have. No, absolutely, absolutely. I know the name of my business is A Sister's Truth, but hey, our brothers have sisters
Yes.
too. So I'm here for you guys as well. So Ashley, I know you talked about, okay, he said, because I've been around people that have been let down many times and fed up fed up over it. Yeah, we
We
all
all
have
have, yeah.
been we continue to be
That's
let
my big
down. That's
sister,
a part of it.
ZZ.
But it's all about, you know, your mindset and what do you do with that information? How do you react to that? Do you take that as a learning experience, you know, for the next time you run into that situation, or do you just wallow in it and stay there?
Right.
Right? It's all about how you react to it because someone's going to always let you down. It's just a part of life.
Right.
So, hey
That's
ZZ.
my big
Hey, thank you for joining us
sister.
tonight. So, Ashley, I know you talked about your book, but give us one book that you have read that has helped you live in your truth.
Joyce Meyer, she has some really good books, but I will say TD Jakes' book,
Yes.
Soar. That's a really good book, Soar. He talks about a lot of different areas in life, you know, personal, financial. He touches on careers. So I would recommend that to anyone who has not read it. Soar by TD Jakes. I really love that book. So yes.
I love that
Hi,
book
Dr.
too.
Sharon.
That's a really good
Yes,
book. And Believe
yes.
Bigger by Marshawn Daniels is the most recent book that I've finished that I also love as well, besides my book, of course. And that's Believe Bigger by Marshawn Daniels. So actually, I really enjoyed you on tonight. So I want you to complete this statement before I let you go. So I want you to tell us, complete the statement. My name is, and I walk in my truth by, fill in the blank. Can you hear me?
Going out. I can hear you now. It was going out. It was staticky,
Can
going
you
back
hear
and
me?
forth. Yes, I can now.
Okay. Okay. Can you complete this statement? My name is, and I walk in my truth by. You can't hear me?
Hello?
Ashley, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can. It's going in and out. It's like it frees up
Yes.
and then it'll come back.
Can you hear me?
It's freezing.
Hello? Instagram messing with the church's money.
I know the technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you a little bit.
Okay. Well, just give us some, we can just go ahead and wrap it up. Give us some final words of encouragement before we end on tonight. Final words of encouragement.
Hello?
Can you give us some final words of encouragement? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you give us some final words of encouragement?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's going in and out. I can hear you. It's freezing up. I can hear. Might have to go.
Can you give
Hello?
some final words of encouragement?
Yes, I can hear you kind of. Can you hear me before I start talking?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, the words of encouragement I would give would be to definitely take risks. Do not be afraid to step out and be uncomfortable. Do not be afraid to fail and just do it anyway. Do it scared, do it, and just do it. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. I really appreciate you reaching out. I enjoyed our interview tonight. Thank you so
I
much.
did.